Now at 5, we'll look at the driving factors behind homelessness and its impact in the 4 states. Plus, how volunteers are helping to battle graffiti at Wildcat Glades in Joplin. And
former special counsel Robert Hur testifies about his investigation into President Biden's handling of classified documents. I'm Natalie Brand on Capitol Hill with what he said about the president's memory and why he's facing criticism from both Republicans and Democrats.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The homeless crisis continues to plague the nation, and the 4 states is no different. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Since 2007, the number of sheltered and unsheltered homeless living in rural Kansas communities has nearly doubled. While there are a lot of factors behind homelessness, addiction plays a big role. According to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, roughly 38% of homeless people suffer from an alcohol dependency, while 26% abuse drugs. Becky Gray is the executive director of Building Health, Inc. She says fighting addiction starts with a safe place to rest.
I forgot who said the quote, but it's pretty pertinent. The difference between despair and hope is often a good night's sleep. So we know that giving people an opportunity to rest well gives them an opportunity to do the things they need to do in their lives to do better. I know I can't go without sleep.
It's tough to focus on housing and work when you struggle with addiction. Tonight at 6, KOAM's Tanya Bach introduces us to a Pittsburgh man who battled substance use for 25 years. He's now sober and thriving. His success story in part 1 of her special report, Beyond Homeless, at 6. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney now for a first look at the weather.
Well, out in Joplin, it's 74, so it was a really nice day, pretty breezy. And across the region, we're all in the 70s now, dropping down a little bit colder. But we do see some rain already starting to pop up in Chanute, and that's going to continue to make its way off to the east. On top of that, we do have a low risk for severe storms tonight, an elevated risk tomorrow, and an elevated risk on Thursday. Starting tonight, we could see some thunderstorms, not too severe, but you may hear some rumblings of thunder, especially in our southwestern Missouri counties. And then tomorrow, mostly just northern counties are going to be the main concern. But I'll have all the details for you up next.
See you soon. Rocky Comfort Elementary in McDonald County, Missouri is moving closer to getting a new storm shelter. Crews today set concrete walls into place. Voters in 2022 approved a $21.5 million bond issue to fund this shelter and others in the district. This one's going to be a 52 by 60 foot shelter to protect students, staff, and community members.
Rocky Comfort's a very rural area. We don't have a lot of shelters that can accommodate our families and our community. So having that for them is going to be a positive. Also for our students here right now, if a tornado comes, we're hunkering down in the bathrooms and interior rooms. And so to have this for our students and our families and the community that we serve will be a positive.
The school district says it's going to be a state-of-the-art facility. Officials hope to have that shelter completed by next fall before school starts. Visitors to Wildcat Glades in Joplin might notice something different in the park, especially in the trees. Wildcat Glades Nature Group is working to stop vandalism on the trails. The group wrapped the trees with burlap and chicken wire to protect them from graffiti. They say those trees have been vandalized and sprayed with paint.
It's a unique area for our community and for the area around us. So we just are passionate about that, and we want to take care of it.
Well, the camaraderie with the other volunteers, but also I just like improving the environment and helping keep it pristine.
Besides taking care of the graffiti, the group also picks up trash, such as small liquor bottles, diapers, and other items. The volunteers cut the grass, clean invasive plants, empty the trash cans, all of that to maintain the 55 acres of the park they watch. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle had critical questions for Special Counsel Robert Hur as he testified about his report looking into President Biden's handling of classified material. Natalie Brand has more details now from Capitol Hill.
Lawmakers grilled former special counsel Robert Hur for hours about his investigation into President Biden's handling of classified documents after the end of his vice presidency. What new information did you learn?
New information we learned? Nothing.
In the end, Republicans and Democrats heard exactly what they wanted to hear.
Joe Biden kept classified information. Joe Biden failed to properly secure classified information. And Joe Biden shared classified information with people he wasn't supposed to.
The very first line of the report says it all. Quote, "We conclude that no criminal charges are warranted in this matter."
Committee members used the hearing to take shots at each other's presidential candidates. Republicans allege a double standard with former President Trump facing criminal charges.
The fact that the only person being prosecuted for this offense happens to be the president's political opponent makes this an unprecedented assault on our democracy.
But even Hur's report points out some key differences in the Trump case.
According to the indictment, he not only refused to return the documents for many months, but he also obstructed justice by enlisting others to destroy evidence and then to lie about it.
Democrats criticized Hur for characterizing President Biden as an elderly man with a poor memory.
You made a choice. That was a political choice. It was the wrong choice.
Hur defended the assessment as necessary.
What I wrote is what I believe the evidence shows, and what I expect jurors would perceive and believe.
Hur resigned from the Justice Department following this investigation. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Former President Trump on social media today compared his case to President Biden's and says Biden got a free pass while he has to fight the charges. Tonight could be the night that President Biden and former President Trump solidify a 2024 rematch for the White House. 4 states are holding primary contests with enough delegates at stake to make each candidate his party's presumptive nominee. President Biden has planned events in the major battleground states of Wisconsin and Michigan this week, while former President Trump is expected to attend a rally in Ohio this weekend. Still ahead, getting the best rest.
How well do you sleep? I'm Danya Backus with interesting data on how Americans snooze.
Plus, how medication can help reduce the risk of death for patients with ADHD. Those stories next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, people with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder are at an increased risk for premature death. But a large study out of Sweden suggests treating the disorder with medication can help reduce the overall mortality risk for patients. Researchers identified nearly 150,000 people diagnosed with ADHD between 2007 and 2018, tracking death within 2 years of diagnosis. They found a 19% decrease in the 2-year mortality rate for those who got ADHD medication. A new analysis in the Annals of Internal Medicine shows that calcium and vitamin D supplements have mixed results for postmenopausal women. Researchers found women have a 7% lower chance of dying from cancer over a 22-year period, but a 6% higher risk of cardiovascular disease. Fans, blackout curtains, and alarm clocks and wake-up lights. A recent survey unveils how Americans sleep. Reporter Danya Backus takes a look at sleep habits and what you can do to improve your bedtime routine.
A comfortable night's sleep varies from person to person.
I stopped looking at my phone, and I do watch TV, so, put something like on a History Channel or something, just put you to sleep.
I try not to be on my phone after like 10 p.m. Because the blue light really affects the way that I sleep.
A survey from the American Academy of Sleep Medicine looked at how people prepare for bed. It found 29% read before bed, while 30% of Americans turn off their electronics.
Well, that leaves 70% of us that don't.
Dr. Seema Khosla is the medical director for the North Dakota Center for Sleep.
We want to go through our endless scroll. We want to continue with Netflix. And so we wind up delaying our bedtime. And so then we're chronically sleep deprived.
She says what you do to unwind plays a role in when and how you sleep. She recommends no electronics 30 to 60 minutes before bed and developing a consistent nighttime routine.
When are you going to dim the lights in your home? When are you going to eat your final meal? When are you going to cut off your caffeine? When are you going to exercise?
The study also looked at what people use to fall and stay asleep. Nearly half of Americans use a fan when they sleep, 39% use blackout curtains, and 20% use sleep masks.
I have an eye mask.
Okay, so completely dark for you.
Yeah, and then a little bit of white noise.
Dr. Kosla says making sleep a priority can ensure you get the suggested 7 to 9 hours of shut-eye each night so you can start the next day on the right side of the bed. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
That survey also asked what is regularly included in the bedtime routine and found 39% of Americans take a bath or shower. 34% go to bed at the same time each night. A lot do not, apparently. And that is a look at tonight's health news. A little bit later, a 50-year Pittsburgh business announces it's expanding with a new facility.
And we've got thunderstorm chances tonight and the next couple of days. I'll have all the details for you after the break. It was a pretty breezy day for us, but we are looking at some thunderstorm chances tonight. If that occurs, we could see pretty light thunderstorms, not too severe, but right now it's still pretty clear outside. Taking a look at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort camera, you can see some clouds are moving in and the winds picking up. We're breezing, gusting upwards of 40 to 45 miles per hour today. Temperatures got up to the 70s, 75 for a high, 53 for a low. So it was a pretty warm day as well. And we are starting to see some showers popping up Chanute and through Pittsburgh and Nevada. So we may see those thunderstorms develop in our area. And if we do expect to see those, it's going to be a pretty low risk for severe storms, mostly covering western Missouri. And we have an elevated risk on Wednesday and on Thursday. Starting right now, we'll take a close look at what we can expect to see is these showers, and then as they continue on, they could develop into thunderstorms. We have the instability in the atmosphere for these to spark up, but they are pretty fast moving, so we won't expect to see them stick around for too long, and they'll be moving off to the east pretty quickly. After that, we're not going to see anything else until Wednesday. We'll see those showers start to pick up a little bit later in the evening, and we have this elevated risk for those severe thunderstorms, and that is in case these storms develop in these northern counties. As of right now, they're kicking off up in Kansas City, but if we do expect to see that, we could have some hail and wind threats along with those thunderstorms. We'll take a close look at what we can see here. Some showers in our northern counties just north of Nevada, but the severe thunderstorm threat hits Kansas City. Now, if these storms do develop in our northern counties, they could clip us, giving us that hail and wind threats along. On top of that, more rain coming in on Thursday. In the morning, we'll have some pretty widespread scattered showers, but the thunderstorm chances are just clipping our southern counties. You can see Bella Vista is getting some pretty heavy rain at about 1 p.m. Thursday, and we have some more thunderstorms going just south of us. If that shifts, then we could have a couple different thunderstorms producing some severe threats in those areas. And then again, around 11 p.m., another chance of thunderstorms moving through. Other than that, it's not looking too severe. We do have the PM storms on Wednesday, 20% just in case they do develop early. Like I said, we do have the instability and the moisture in the atmosphere for those to kick off a little bit ahead of time. And then on Thursday, widespread showers during the day, and then they'll turn to thunderstorms, mostly just affecting our southern counties that evening. And then Friday, we may still have those showers sticking around, especially in the southeastern counties, but they'll be clearing out pretty quickly, giving us some cloudy, sunny skies on Friday. And then for the rest of the weekend, temperatures cool off down to the 50s, cloudy skies, but they'll get down to 47 on Monday before warming back up early next week.
Something for everyone in that forecast.
There is.
A bit of sun, a bit of rain, a bit of in between.
Yes.
But we need all of those, I guess.
I agree. We do.
Automated driving tech might not be the safest. Coming up, what a new report suggests about the dangers of relaxing behind the wheel. Topping today's Consumer Watch, Pitt Plastics is expanding after 50 years in business. The company is one of the oldest in Pittsburgh, creating products for industries including food service and medical field. Today, they broke ground on a new 200,000 square foot facility. It'll be just east of the current facility at 1400 East Atkinson. Officials expect that expansion to be completed by early 2025. Higher prices at the gas pump pushed up inflation more than expected last month. But price hikes did slow in some key areas, fueling a touch of positive news for the Federal Reserve and consumers. The latest consumer price index from the Bureau of Labor Statistics showed prices rose by 3.2% for the 12 months ending in February. That's slightly up from January's annual reading and higher than expected. On a monthly basis, the index rose by 0.4% in February. That's the fastest rate in months. Most new cars have all kinds of bells and whistles to boost safety on the roads. You know that. They include gadgets to help you stop and help you steer and do a lot more. They're supposed to take aspects of driving out of your hands, but some drivers might be taking that idea literally. Chris Van Cleve looks at a new report suggesting some of this fancy tech is not doing enough to keep us safe.
Holding phone now.
New testing by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety finds nearly all of those fancy driver assistance systems that they evaluated, the ones that help drive the car, aren't doing enough to monitor a driver's behavior.
We were disappointed that 11 of the 14 systems we evaluated received a poor rating.
IIHS President David Harkey.
It can be very dangerous. They are not self-driving vehicles. And so you see people who either intentionally or unintentionally misuse these systems and get themselves into trouble.
The systems are becoming increasingly common in new cars, prompting IIHS to launch this first-of-a-kind testing. Its new ratings assess how well the systems monitor the driver and issue alerts, as well as encourage shared control with the driver and react when safety features are disengaged, like a driver taking off their seatbelt. Of the 14 tested, none earned a top rating. Just one scored acceptable, the Lexus Teammate with Advanced Drive. 2 others rated marginal. What needs to change?
Monitoring both the head, the eyes, as well as the hands to make sure you're ready to take control of the vehicle.
The report comes as lawmaker concern over these driver assistance systems is growing, prompting this exchange with NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy.
If it's only designed to be operated in a certain type of environment, it should be limited to those environments.
In a statement to CBS News, automakers say the features help reduce roadway crashes and injuries, but this technology is meant to support a human driver operating behind the wheel. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Washington.
Roku says hackers accessed more than 15,000 user accounts in a breach the company disclosed on Friday. In some cases, unauthorized individuals tried to purchase streaming subscriptions. The company said it's refunded customers who were impacted by unauthorized charges. Roku said it secured the hacked accounts from further harm by making registered users reset their passwords. A final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, are your days of using TikTok numbered? The ultimatum facing that Chinese-owned app. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on efforts to fight graffiti at Joplin's Wildcat Glades. Plus, emergency dispatch operations for Carl Junction will soon be handled in a different location. And the NEO men's basketball team is headed to the National Junior College Tournament. We're going to preview their first round matchup. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. This is interesting. A study found Mars could be driving giant whirlpools that can reach the bottom of the Earth's deep oceans. The authors say the currents or eddies can erode the seafloor and cause large accumulations of sediments like snowdrifts. Scientists analyzed sediments drilled from hundreds of deep sea sites over the past half century to look back tens of millions of years into Earth's past. A study co-author said the cycles are linked to the interactions of Mars and Earth orbiting the sun. The authors say this is the first study to make those connections. It's remarkable. Mars is a pretty good distance away, and yet I suppose it's the gravitational pull of that planet that somehow impacts that. Yes. Yeah. And the fact that they can measure that from millions of years ago is just mind-boggling, if you ask me. You meteorologists, you can measure all sorts of things like temperatures and upcoming storm chances.
Yes, we can. In fact, we've actually got some storm chances tonight, tomorrow, Thursday, tapering off Friday morning. So tonight we're already getting some showers out in Chanute, Pittsburgh, Nevada, and those could develop into thunderstorms as they move off to the eastern counties.
See you at 6. Let's make it a great evening.